My beloved child, I warn you, there is a woman you once trusted who is quietly using dark magic to manipulate your soul. She is not alone. The darkness stands behind her. If you continue to dismiss this, you will gradually lose yourself. But if you listen and obey me, the covering of heaven will never leave you. For whoever rises up against you is standing against the one who created you, and no one can triumph over me. She does not merely hate you, nor is she merely jealous. She has allowed darkness to enter her soul so that she may become a vessel for deceit. Such people no longer live in the light. They prowl in the shadows, waiting for the moment you are weary and weak to strike. Do not think she acts alone. There are forces behind her whispering curses, manipulating the mind, sowing confusion, sickness, and misdirection. Yet once the Lord acts, nothing hidden will remain concealed. I want you to know this. There is nothing she does that heaven does not see. The whispers in the dark, the rituals she performs in secret, every one of them is under the gaze of Almighty God. And when you feel unseen, misunderstood, remember that I am recording it all. I do not sleep. I am never slow to act. The traps she has laid for you will become the very snares in which she is caught unless she repents. She chose you because you were chosen by God. She is not insane. She sees in you what she cannot possess, a noble purpose, a light she cannot bear. She perceives a heavenly destiny you have yet to realize. And darkness only attacks those who can influence the kingdom of light. The harder the blow against you, the more it proves how much hell fears the influence you carry. That woman is not merely human. She has become a vessel used by darkness. Some souls have entrusted themselves to evil not because they were tricked, but because they have willingly surrendered. They become hunters of other souls, planting death where there should be life. What she is doing to you is no jest. It is a deliberate spiritual assault. She does not come loudly, but strikes from behind with curses, with spiritual manipulation, with darkness disguised as concern. But do not be afraid, for light does not need to make noise to conquer darkness. It only needs to appear, and truth will come when the appointed time arrives. I promise you this, for I know you belong to the one who holds all authority. My child, sometimes what terrifies you is not the attack itself, but the silence of the heavens. My silence, the silence between the hidden battles you have to endure. But silence does not mean I am absent. You have never walked alone, even in the densest night, even under the shadow of nameless curses. The enemy believes I do not care, but nothing escapes the eyes of the Creator. You need only keep your heart still. The battle belongs to me. Do not think that what she does in the shadows is invisible. I see it all. Every time she mutters a curse, every time she burns something in the night, every time she closes her door to call on strange spirits, my angels are there. No whisper escapes my ears, no darkness hides from my sight. No matter how careful she is, all that she stores in her heart is recorded in heaven. People may be deceived by her gentle facade, but I look straight into the soul, and there she harbors the very things that are consuming her day by day. I know she believes herself wise, imagining that because she has not yet been punished, there will be no judgment. But my child, my mercy is not indifference. It is the final chance for the wicked to repent. If she does not turn back, her downfall has already been decreed. I do not need to hurry, for darkness always collapses under the weight of its own foundations. She is taking her final steps down the path she has chosen, and each one brings her closer to the abyss she does not see. You need do nothing, for no spell is stronger than the holy blood I shed for you. No darkness is deep enough to block the light from my throne that shines upon your life. She may draw symbols, recite incantations, and work with unseen forces, but my power surpasses them all. I am not bound by space-time or schemes, and with just one breath I can dismantle the entire system of enchantment she has labored to build. Only remember this, my hand has never let you go. When she thinks she holds the upper hand, the net is already set beneath her feet. When you feel most stripped and exhausted, that is when my angels surround you the most. I allow you to see your limits so that you may learn to trust in my limitless strength. And when the day comes that you emerge from this darkness, you will know it was not because you were strong, but because I never gave up. And when you understand this, you will see the hatred that woman has toward you was never truly aimed only at you. She is opposing what I have ordained. And if you do not let your heart be drawn into the spiral of retaliation, darkness will find no place to cling to you. For the reason she strikes at you does not come from what you have done, but from what I intend to do through you. And you must know this to understand why the storm broke just as light began to dawn within your soul. You still wonder why. Why, out of so many, did she choose you to attack? Why does her hostility persist, returning as though fueled by something deeper than emotion? You do not yet realize, but the enemy does. Darkness knows exactly what is forming within you, something it fears. It strikes not because you are wrong, but because you are nearing the sacred destiny I set for you when I formed you in your mother's womb. What she does is merely darkness's feeble defense against the light you carry. You are not the first to be deceived because of the light you bear. Remember Joseph, the son sold by his own brothers out of jealousy, not because he sinned, but because within him was a dream, a destiny, a promise from me. And that was enough for the darkness in others to despise his presence. You are the same. You carry a promise, and she, though she does not fully understand, has sensed the fragrance of consecration in your life. That fragrance torments her, for she cannot have it, and so she seeks to destroy it. Darkness always comes when light begins to spread, and the closer you are to the turning point, the fiercer the blow. This is the law. When you see everything around you trembling as if it will collapse, that is when heaven is lifting you into a new realm of influence. But darkness will not let it happen without resistance. It roars, it fires its arrows, it commands vessels willing to lend it their bodies like that woman to push you from the path I have set. But my child, if you stop out of fear, you have given the enemy victory without it needing to strike again. I know you are weary. I know you have doubted yourself. But you must never measure your worth by the intensity of the battle. For the fiercer the war, the clearer the proof that you are closer than ever to what I am about to do. She does not choose the weak, she chooses you because you carry an influence she cannot reach. And that is why her heart swells with an invisible jealousy, a jealousy twisted by darkness into hatred. Do not miss what I am doing simply because you have been struck before you could see the victory. I am training you. I am refining you through trials. Do not let the voice of the enemy make you forget the call of the one who chose you. Remember this: if hell fears you, then heaven is investing in you. Do not waste this attack, for if you stand firm, it will become living proof of a story greater than any wound that woman has inflicted upon you. And before you think of striking back, let me show you another path. A path not easy to walk, but the only one that will keep your soul intact. The path of forgiveness. Not because she deserves it, but because you cannot allow your heart to be deformed by the very thing that wounded you. Do you know her attack was not merely to harm your body or your life, it was aimed straight at your soul. She did not only want to bring you down, but to pull you into becoming like her, bitter, hateful, hollow, and dark. That is the true plan, for darkness does not merely kill, it spreads. It plants seeds in the hearts of the wounded to turn them into instruments for the next destruction. And if you are not watchful, if you do not guard your heart, you could lose the most precious gift I have given you, a pure heart. The more deeply you are wounded, the more tempted you will be to respond in kind, with anger, with cutting words, with a longing for revenge. And while that may feel fair even right in the moment, retaliation never heals, it only prolongs the war. She sows pain, but when you harbor resentment, you are watering that seed within yourself. One day you will resemble her more than you resemble me. That is what I do not want. Forgive not, because what she did was small. I know it was great, it was deep, it was evil. But you must forgive so that evil cannot bind you again. Forgiveness is the way you cut the cord between yourself and the darkness. It is the way you declare, I do not belong to bitterness. I belong to the one who forgave me when I was still a stranger. I am not telling you to forget. I am telling you not to let the memory become a shackle, nor the pain become your identity. For vengeance does not belong to you, my child. Vengeance is mine, and I will not let evil go unpunished. I am just, I see, I remember, and I will execute judgment in its appointed time. But I am also merciful, and if she turns back, my arms are still open. Your part is to keep your heart pure, so you do not lose the light you carried from the beginning. Do not let your soul be bent out of shape because someone else lived crookedly. You must not become the reflection of the one who hurt you, and it is in that forgiveness that you will be healed, not instantly, not without tears. But little by little you will find your heart growing lighter peace, returning, and light being rekindled in the places once destroyed. One day when you look back, you will realize it was in the moment you let go of resentment that you truly won the battle. And you will step into a new season not only with freedom, but with a story of deliverance that I, myself, have written for you. You have walked through fire, endured the fierce wind, and yet you did not become like the one who did evil. You chose the light, even as the darkness stalked you. And now I will tell you something deeper still. Everything the enemy used to push you down, I will turn into the very reason I raise you up. Nothing in this battle is meaningless. Not one tear has fallen without being caught in my sleeve. What that woman used to destroy you, I will use to exalt you. You will not merely survive. I will cause you to rise stronger, wiser, and filled with the Holy Spirit. The curses she hurled at you will be broken, replaced with blessings pouring down like rain. The nights you lay awake in confusion will become the very story others need to hear to find healing. I will take every fragment of your life that the wicked tried to crush and piece it together into a radiant instrument, not for your purpose, but for my kingdom. Nothing is wasted in my hands. The storms she brought you thought they came to drown you, but in truth I used them to refine you like gold in the furnace. Holiness is not forged in calm, but in friction and pain. And in that fire you will learn to discern the real from the false, the eternal from the fleeting. I allowed the strange wind to rise not to kill you, but to strip away what no longer fits the journey ahead. When you step out, you will not only be one who has been protected, you will be one who has been sent. You will not just be a survivor, you will be a witness. The one others look at and say, if God rescued that person, he can rescue me too. You will open your mouth not with bitterness, but with deep gratitude. You will look back and say, if not for that attack, I would never have known how strong I truly am, and I would never have known how great my God truly is. And so what the enemy intended as the excuse for your destruction will become the radiant proof of my faithfulness. And the most beautiful thing is this: after all, you will no longer walk alone. You will become the one who pulls others out of the places they have been imprisoned, just as you once were. She thought she had ended you, but in truth she triggered a new season I had ordained, a season in which you are the living witness of my power to deliver, a season in which those still bound will be set free because you refused to be silent. And that is what makes the darkness tremble more than any curse that you once hunted by it are now helping others escape its claws. So walk on head held high, not because you were never knocked down, but because I did not let you stay down. Your ending is not destruction, it is restoration. It is not defeat, it is glory. It is not silence. It is a voice that resounds for countless others to know God always wins, and those who belong to him will never be left in the hands of darkness. My beloved, sit with me a while, not to run away, but to be restored. You have fought, you have stood firm through invisible arrows, you have endured nights with no hand to hold. But today I do not want you to go on living as if you must forever brace yourself alone on the edge between light and dark. I have not come to lay more burdens on you, but to lift from your shoulders what does not belong to you. And the first thing I ask of you is time. Give me the moments most precious when your mind is yet untouched by the dust of the day, when your heart is still enough to hear my voice. Do not delay, my child. Do not wait until everything is calm before you come to me. For the calm the world offers is only a sweet trap, while the peace I give is a firm foundation, unshaken though all around you falls. The enemy is never loud. It does not pound on the door with a roar, it seeps in like a draft through the cracks, smooth, subtle, persuasive. It comes dressed as things that seem reasonable, timely, deserved, yet at its core is rot wrapped in sugar. It whispers in your ear, forgiveness is weakness. Protect yourself by striking back. But I say differently. The strength you need is not in your words, but in the quiet of your heart, in my presence. You have heard too much noise. You have believed too many lies. You have endured the wrong looks from others and worse from yourself. I do not blame you, but I will not leave you there. You must return to the secret place where only you and I dwell. There the shouts from the realm of darkness will not find you. There no arrow can pierce your soul. For in that place, my own hand builds the walls around you, and my breath covers you like a cloak. Remember the times I carried you through seasons of wilderness. Those moments when you thought you had no strength left, unable to take another step, yet here you still are. Not because you were strong, but because I never let go of your hand. Those who bear my mark like you will always be hated by the darkness. It needs no reason to hate. The very sight of the light within you is enough to enrage it. Do not ask why that woman chose you to destroy. Do not ask why the vilest of things keep crashing upon you like relentless waves. The more you ask, the deeper you will wander into the labyrinth of wounds. Stand up and remember, it was I who called your name out of the darkness. Not so you would collapse, but so you would overcome, and you will not overcome in the way the world tells you to. Not with fists, not with revenge, not with manipulation, not by straining to prove your worth. You will overcome by the way I have taught you. Holiness, a weapon unseen, yet it makes demons tremble. A power silent to the ear, yet able to tear down the very strongholds the enemy has built around your mind. Holiness is not the avoidance of life, but life lived in the awareness of me, in every deed, in every word, in every breath. Do not let your heart be swayed by what you can see, touch, or feel. For this battle is not a collision of flesh, but a clash between unseen kingdoms. I know you are weak. That is why I do not ask you to fight alone. Let me train your hands for war, not with swords and spears, but with oil-soaked prayer, not with sharp words, but with steadfast faith. I will teach you to stand when people turn away. I will teach you to be silent when the enemy roars, and it is in that silence that I will act. For the weapons you hold, if left in human hands, are only wood and stone, but when placed in mine, they become vessels of power. Power not only to preserve yourself, but to tear down every fortress the enemy has built over years. Fortresses of fear, shame, ancestral curses, rejection, disgrace, and self-doubt. You cannot see them with your natural eyes, but you feel their weight every day. And I say to you, the time to dismantle them has come. You once thought that living long in darkness would make you accustomed to it. But in truth, it slowly kills your soul. It makes you live without truly breathing, laugh while inwardly crying, achieve success yet feel empty, be loved yet unable to feel love. That is the fate of a soul imprisoned within walls it does not even know exist. I have come to tear down those walls, not with a thunderous crash, but through the small moments you set aside to be in my presence. Every minute you pray, every time you choose to forgive, every moment you reject a lie, another stone falls. And then on a day you least expect, the light will pour in. No enemy will be able to hide. No fear will be able to hold you back. You will step out, not merely as a survivor of battle, but as a warrior trained in the very field where you fought. Not everyone will understand the journey you have walked. Not everyone will believe in the transformation within you. But I see, I affirm, I seal it. You will no longer be the one passively waiting for an attack. You will become an instrument in my hand to strike where darkness still hides. You will go to those who have been wounded as you were, not with pity, but with certainty. You will not speak of a God in theory, but of the God who saved you himself. And when you speak, others will listen, for your soul bears the marks of a true encounter. Your scars will no longer symbolize pain, but stand as evidence of a miracle, so do not delay. Even now I am calling you into a new season, a season of establishment. Everything before was only preparation. Now I desire to establish you as a pillar, a refuge for broken souls. But this will not happen in a day. It begins with one small choice: to give me your time, to hide yourself in the secret place, to trust my teaching over the urgings of your own heart. If you agree, I will lead you through, not by the shortest path, but by the surest one. Not by avoiding wounds, but by turning each wound into a dwelling place for me. not by removing the darkness, but by letting the light spread until darkness has no place left to live. You are not merely one who has been rescued. You are a witness to a new era where holiness is not just a concept, but a living reality in everyday life. Begin today. You do not have to be perfect, only sincere. You do not have to clean yourself up before coming to me. Just come, I will do the rest. And when you look back, you will see every battle, every tear, every hidden sigh has led you here. To the place where you no longer fear the enemy, no longer fall prey to hidden schemes, no longer live in reflexive defense, but move in the offensive power of love, the one weapon that terrifies hell more than any other. Are you willing? If so, then stand up, step into the secret place. Lay your hand upon your heart and say to me, I give you my time, I give you my life. Teach me to fight with holiness, with faith, and with unchanging love. And I promise, once again as from the very beginning, I will not abandon you, I will not leave you, I will not cease to act for you are mine, and no power of darkness can ever take that away. My child, I love you with a love that does not grow weary, that never fades, that never disappears. This love does not depend on your strength or weakness, and it is not shaken by your stumbles or by the moments when you have no strength left to pray. I love you because I know you. Every corner of your soul, every wound, you have not dared to speak of, even the things you hide in the darkest recesses of your heart out of shame, yet I still love. And I love in a way no one else can. Even in your silence, I listen. Even when you run, I follow. I have never left, not even when you thought I turned away. In the longest nights, in the darkest hours, when your mind wavered between doubt and despair, it was then that I was holding you by the fragile thread of mercy. When you thought you were sinking completely, I quietly lifted you by means unseen. My intervention, my covering, the intercession of those I awakened in the night to pray for you, whose names you have never known. That woman, my child, she does not walk in the light. Her path is cloaked in lies, and worse still, she believes those lies as though they were truth. When a person allows themselves to be controlled by darkness for too long, they lose the ability to tell right from wrong. They call evil good, poison sweet, and live in an upside-down reality without knowing they have become blind. She is a victim, but one who has turned herself into an instrument of wounding. And the saddest part is she no longer desires healing. She is bound by schemes she thinks are wise, drawn into mysterious practices that began as mere protection but gradually became idols, crutches, and a false power she cannot release. She enchants others with a facade of morality, with advice that sounds wise, but behind it lies spiritual manipulation. She is not merely a jealous woman, she is a vessel in the hand of dark forces, and tragically she thinks she controls everything when in truth, she is the one being controlled. Yet, my child, none of this can change this eternal truth. She cannot touch what I have covered. Though she stalks, though she curses, though she whispers to spirits not from me, it is all powerless under the covering of the Almighty. You are hidden under the shadow of my wings, and no slander, no curse, no false miracle can pierce it. For I do not merely watch from above, I am in the battle with you. I am your shield, your fortress, your rock, to which you can run. You thought you were alone, but you did not know you were surrounded by an unseen army. My angels have never taken their eyes off you for a single moment. When people spoke ill of you, when they misunderstood you, when she spread rumors to ruin your name, I was the one holding the truth of your voice. You do not need to defend yourself, for I will do it. Not with shouts, but with results. By lifting you up in the midst of curses, by making those who once doubted you return and say, surely God is with this one. I know you are weary, weary of restraining your emotions, weary of continuing to believe when everything seems against you. But my child, what makes you strong is not that you do not feel pain, but that you have not let pain turn you into someone else. You have chosen to keep your heart free of bitterness, revenge, or harm, even when you had reason to strike back, and that makes me smile. For you are like me, like my beloved son who suffered without uttering a curse. That woman thinks she is won, But the victory of darkness is never real, for darkness only wins when light does not appear. And light does not need to fight to win, it only needs to appear. And you are that light, not because you are perfect, but because you belong to me. The light does not come from you, but from the one who lives in you. Though you tremble, though you doubt yourself, I have not changed my plans for you. What you are going through is part of the journey, not to break you, but to teach you to rise above adversity, so that when you look back you will see not only the pain but the power of my hand that kept you from falling. You will be stronger, not because you learned to stand alone, but because you learned to let me lift you up. And those who have watched your battle from afar will say, "This is the Lord's doing, no one else could have done this." You need not fear what lies ahead. Even if that woman continues, even if darkness prowls, nothing can stop me from finishing what I began. You need only guard your heart, keep living righteously, keep the light in your eyes. Do not let old wounds drag you into the mud of resentment. You are not called to be like her, you are called to be different. Called to live as a child of the King. And you will see, she who once sought to bury you will witness how I restore you. Not so you can gloat, but so you can be grateful. Not to shame her, but to give her one last chance to turn back. For I still love her, and if she repents, I will forgive. But that is my part. Your part is to keep walking in the light, keep standing firm, keep letting me do the rest. My child, if you could grasp the depth of my love for you, you would never tremble before any darkness again. For my love is not merely a feeling, it is a shield, a consuming fire, a power against every slander and curse. And that love, it is still at work, still protecting, still fighting for you, even when you cannot see it. So lift your head high, not because you have never fallen, but because you are rising in the name of the one who never fails. And as you keep walking forward, remember, what was once meant to destroy you will become the very stepping stone for your promotion in me. And from the place that looked like hell itself, I will write a story that will cause all of heaven to applaud. For you, the weak one, have become the warrior that cannot be defeated. My child, I see every crack in your heart, the places strangled by resentment where no more tears can fall, only a slow dryness remains like ashes after the fire. I know your heart has cried out in silence. Why is she free while I writhe in pain? I know you have been on the verge of spitting out curses, of wanting to return every lie, every venom, every manipulation and shadow that she has thrown into your life like silent daggers. But my child, if you let the fire in your heart burn in that direction, soon you will no longer recognize the light that once lived vividly in your soul. And I, the one who formed you, cannot stand by and watch that happen. Therefore I speak firmly, do not hate her. Do not let your heart be stained with the toxic pigment she carries. She has allowed her heart to be filled with evil and has willfully stepped out of the light. But you must not walk that path. You are the one I set apart among thousands of faces to bear a portion of divine light in a darkened world, and that light cannot walk hand in hand with spite. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Evil cannot be destroyed by deeper evil. I am calling you out of that whirlwind so that your heart will not be blackened by the obsession she sows. If you hate her as she hates you, you are extending the chain of suffering I intend to break. I know what I say now feels like a paradox to what you feel. You have been wounded so deeply you thought you could endure no more. Pain has struck like sudden tides, and her lies have made others look at you with suspicion. You have lost friends, peace, and your voice while she walks on as if she has destroyed no one. But my child, what the eyes see is never the whole picture. You see only the front of the stage, but I know the backstage. You hear her laugh, but I hear her soul screaming in the misery she dares not admit, and I am the righteous one. What she sows, she will reap, but not in the way you think, nor at the time you expect. Do not curse her. Do not let any word escape your mouth that turns it into a weapon against the goodness I desire to give you. For in every venomous word you utter in return, you are the first to lose holiness. Such words do not only strike the enemy, they pierce your own soul, slowly eroding the life I have awakened in you. I did not create you for your mouth to release evil. I created you so your mouth would speak healing, encouragement, and abundant life. Hold back the poison. Instead of cursing her, let me act. I will repay, and when I do, none will be able to interfere. Do not hold on to bitterness, as though it were your dearest friend. Bitterness is a counterfeit companion. It comes when you are lonely. It tells you it understands you, that it will protect you, that it is the only one standing by you when all others turn away. But in truth, bitterness is the rope binding your soul to the abyss. It does not heal, it tears wider. It does not protect, it wounds from within. If you keep it like a treasure, one day you will feel nothing at all. No pain, no love, no faith, no hope. You will become another version of what you once despised. And I, the one who redeemed you with my own blood, cannot let that happen. I know you feel unwell, not only in your body, but in your soul, your spirit, your dreams. You have been struck by invisible blows, by deadly whispers, by toxic energy the world calls unintentional. But I am not blind. I see, I listen, I remember, and I have said long ago, by my stripes you are healed. Not will be, not may be, but are already. You need not ask for more. You need only believe and remain in my presence. For when you choose to forgive, you are not weak. You are severing the connection to death the enemy wants to maintain. Look to me, my child. Stop looking at her. Stop looking at the wounds, the injustice, the cruel words. Fix your eyes on me, the one who loved you when you were nothing, who sheltered you when no one stood for you, who kept your soul intact in the storm. I am holding your hand, not only to pull you from the pit, but to lead you into a new journey where you will not just be a survivor, but a builder. You will be one who knows what pain is, but does not let pain define your identity. You will know what betrayal is, but will not let betrayal define your worth. Guard your spirit. Lock the door of your heart against the voices hissing in the night, against emotions demanding your response in anger, against memories calling you back to who you once were. I have placed a new heart within you, and you must not stain it for anyone. She may do whatever she wills, but she cannot decide your outcome. Only I have that authority. And I have destined for you a reward, a restoration, a new door. But you can only enter if you keep your heart from being dragged into the cycle of revenge. Trust me, my child. The day will come when you will look back at all that has happened and whisper, "Thank you, Lord, that you did not let me become like her." That day will come not because everything is erased as if it never was, but because you rose above it all by faith, by patience, by obedience, in the moments easiest to fall. You will be the living testimony that my power is not only revealed when I punish the wicked, but when I preserve the heart of the righteous from falling into sin. Yes, her intent was to make you sick in body and mind, in soul, but I have declared the opposite. I have said, "You will not die, but live and declare the works of the Lord," and no curse, no scheme, no hidden force can prevent this from coming true. For I am not a man that I should lie, nor the son of man that I should change my mind. When I speak, it shall be fulfilled. When I promise, it shall come to pass. And you, the one I have nicknamed the survivor, will be the proof of that promise. Therefore, my child, do not let your heart be poisoned by what she has done. Let me hold the justice, the timing, the battle. Your part is to keep yourself in peace, in holiness, and in love. You are not called to be her reflection. You are called to be like me, and I am merciful yet almighty. I do not slumber, I do not soften toward evil, but I always win in love. The night has passed, dawn is breaking. Rise, brush the dust from your knees. Lift your head, for your deliverance is nearer than ever. You will be healed. You will be restored. You will be lifted up, not for boasting, but to glorify my name among those who once thought you had fallen. And they will see no one can touch the one sheltered by the Lord. No one can destroy what I have begun. My child, I see the invisible cords tightening around your soul, not with violence, but with the suffocating weight of doubt, fear, and toxic words poured into your heart like acid, eating away the last rays of light. But I come not to scold you for weakness, but to lift you in the tenderness of a father. I know you once thought yourself strong. I know you have tried to stand, to use every effort to protect yourself, to fight. But here is the truth you must engrave in your heart: the battle is not yours. It never was. From beginning to end, it is the battle between light and darkness, between my kingdom and the forces thrashing in desperation, because they know their time is short. Everything that woman has done, I know it all. Every curse she has whispered in the night, every incense lit before gloomy altars, every glance she cast at you like a poisoned blade, none of it escapes my watch. Do not think that just because you have not seen an immediate response, I ignore it. No, my beloved, I delay not because I am weak or powerless, but because I always grant every soul a chance to turn back. But if she hardens her heart still, if she keeps walking the blood-stained path, judgment will come, not late, not missing a beat. Her spells are but smoke vapor before my breath, and when I breathe out truth, every falsehood is swept away like dry leaves in a mighty wind. Her rituals, no matter how elaborate, no matter how veiled in layers of curtains and whispers, are dust before me. I am the living river, the rushing water of life that sweeps away all uncleanness. She builds her works on a foundation of lies, on the base of darkness, but that foundation will shatter when my light comes. For I am not only the source of light, I am the truth. And truth needs no defense by trickery, sorcery, or curses. Truth stands still, and all that is not true will fall away around it. My child, she acts out of fear. Though outwardly she appears imposing, though her eyes look at you coldly, within is a decayed soul ruled by darkness and terrified of what you carry. That is why she cannot leave you in peace. Your presence exposes her. Your light is a mirror, and what she sees in that mirror is what she does not wish to face. But do not let her fear pull you into fear. Do not let what she worships make you forget the one to whom you belong. I am love, and true love does not shrink before threats. Love does not bow to curses. My love is a fortress, a canopy no enemy can touch. And where my love reigns, there is no room for fear. Therefore, if you feel your heart trembling, if your mind is filled with dark scenarios, if your thoughts begin to believe perhaps she will win, then you must return. Return to me. Return to the holy place. The holy place is not a quiet room or a grand cathedral. The holy place is anywhere you come to me in truth. It is the moment you stop listening to the screaming outside and begin to hear my voice. It is when you shut every door in your mind flung open by fear and begin to open your mouth to declare my word over your own life. Speak my word, my child. Do not merely think about it. Do not simply read it as though skimming the pages of an old book. Speak it aloud. Speak it so that your own ears can hear. Speak as one standing in the midst of a battlefield, holding the last sword in hand. Speak my word over your body. This body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. No power has the right to touch it. Speak over your mind, I was not created to fear. I have been given a sound mind filled with power and clarity. Speak over your future. The plans of the Lord are good, and no one can undo them. Repeat these words until they run like blood through your veins. For faith comes by hearing, and you need to hear yourself standing on the side of the light. Do not bind yourself with chains of anxiety. Do not sit and let dark scenarios write their own prophecies over your life. Have you forgotten I am the one who writes your destiny? Not her, not a curse, not the past, not pain. Nothing you face today lies beyond the page I have written. And the next page, no one but I has the right to write. Hide yourself in me, not by fleeing reality, but by standing still in faith. Stand still in the storm, yet remain unshaken. Stand still in the face of accusation, yet keep your heart unburdened. Stand still amid threats, yet keep your eyes fixed on me. For when you are in me, no spell can touch your soul. No poisonous wind can break the fortress I have built. Your strength does not lie in how fiercely you fight, but in how deeply you are rooted in me. The strongest blow is not struck by the one who moves the fastest, but by the one who remains in the sure refuge. Then you will see the curses will lose their power, for I have spoken the final word. The enemy's schemes will no longer trouble you, for I have brought them into the light. You will learn to live as one unshaken by circumstance, unbroken by attack, unmoved by betrayal. You will become a radiant vessel, a light in the darkness, not because you have never been wounded, but because you have been healed by a hand greater than any blow ever struck. Continue to walk forward, but not in your own strength. Walk in the awareness that you are covered. Angels go before you. My presence is beside you, and my glory is behind you, gathering every shattered piece to turn it into a testimony. Everything you thought was lost, I can restore. Everything the enemy tried to steal, I can return in double. And every evil you endured, I will weave into a redemption song no one can counterfeit. So do not look back. Do not look at her as though she controls your fate. Do not regard curses as if they have the final say. Only I, the one who created you, who called you by name, who placed my spirit within you, have the authority to decree what will happen. And I have decreed you will not die but live and declare the mighty works of the Lord. Stand firm, my child, not because you do not fear, but because you know who walks with you. Sing even in the trial. Praise me not because the circumstances have changed, but because your heart knows where it belongs. The enemy may roar, but I am the Lion of Judah, and one roar from me will silence every plot. My child, you have been weary for so long. I see your steps falter after each day of carrying a battle you thought you had to fight alone. But today let me remind you of something so true, so simple, yet so profound. You do not have to strive to be protected. You only need to rest in me. Peace is not a reward for those who try hard enough. It is the inheritance of those who belong to me, and you belong to me completely. While the enemy rages outside, weaving webs of destruction through lies, manipulation, and darkness, you, my beloved child, are invited to hide under the shadow of the Almighty, not to escape, but to be sheltered. You do not need to glance over your shoulder with every step. You do not need to suspect every person who comes near. You do not need to brace yourself for the next blow. Rest, for I will fight for you. Let your soul soften like clay in the potter's hands. Let every tension melt in my presence, for it is when you are silent, not running in your heart, not tangled in assumptions, not plotting your own revenge, that my power works most mightily. The less you strive, the more I move. The more you surrender, the more I make a way. As it is written, be still and know that I am God. Not still because you are powerless, but because you trust. Trust that I am enthroned, that no one can overthrow me, no one can outwit me. And you are not left in some gray space between two forces. You are surrounded by light. You are covered by my angels, and they do not simply stand by to watch. Their swords are drawn ready for battle. I have sent them not to spy, but to protect. Do not let the feeling of loneliness deceive you. Do not let heaven's silence make you think nothing is happening. There is mighty movement in the unseen realm, and the enemy sees it and trembles. The enemy sees what you do not see. It sees the light growing within you. It sees the divine wall of protection rising around you. It sees the angels encamped where you dwell, and so it panics. It roars louder. It strikes harder. But those blows are not born of strength. They are born of fear, for it knows that once you stand still in me, you are a fortress unshakable, a lamp that cannot be extinguished. Every scheme that she, that woman full of deceit and craftiness, ever plotted in the shadows, will no longer remain hidden. I am the one who does not let darkness endure forever. What has been whispered in secret will be proclaimed in the open. What was written in black ink by night will be exposed by the morning light. I do not keep silent to condone. I keep silent to arrange. And now every calculation will turn against its maker. The trap she dug, thinking it clever, discreet, effective, her own feet will be caught in it. The pit she hollowed, believing it meant for you, unless she repents, she will fall into it herself. For I am not only holy, I am just, and justice in me does not delay. Yet strange as it may seem, though I have the right to destroy in an instant, I choose to extend mercy. Do you know, even though she is full of schemes, even though her heart is dark, I take no pleasure in destruction. I am not like humans, quick to condemn, slow to forgive. I am more patient than any heart dares to imagine. I wait for repentance, for my mercy has no borders. If today she would bow her head, abandon her deceit, and return to the truth, I would still reach out my hand to her. But if she insists on her ways, the judgment is already upon her head, and no one can save her but me. And my child, this is why I tell you to rest. For I do not need you to take the role of judge. I have not called you to be the arbiter nor the avenger. That role belongs to me alone. You are called to guard yourself, to keep your heart pure in the midst of battle, to keep your mind at peace when all around you is chaos, to keep your eyes on me, not on the enemy. For when your eyes are on me, you will see what flesh cannot. I have already appointed victory for you before the battle began. The fortress around you is not built by your merit, but by my covenant. The light surrounding you does not come from your own strength, but from my glory resting upon you. And when I cover someone, no enemy can break through. You do not need to live in confusion nor plan an escape route. Simply hide yourself in me, and you will see everything will fall into place. Not because you are wise, but because I am wisdom. Not because you are strong, but because I am the Almighty. So do not panic. Do not let the night pull you from the source of life. Though whispers spread, though suspicious eyes turn toward you, know that I am your defender. I will make the truth shine. I will silence the mouth of the accuser. And beyond that, I will use this very attack to lift you higher, not in the eyes of man, but in the divine plan I have set in motion. You do not need to worry about what comes next. You need only focus on one thing: remaining in me. Remain in my presence. Remain in my promise. Remain in my unchanging love. For once you remain, everything else will be added to you. I know the path you walk. I see every turn, every stone, every snare. And because I see all, you can step into each new day, not with anxiety, but with steadfast courage. Rest is not surrender. Rest is a bold declaration: I trust the one who began the good work in me, that he will bring it to completion. And as you walk in that rest, you will see that everything I have promised, though you pass through fire, through water, will be fulfilled in full measure. Yes, my child, you are not cursed as she whispers in the shadows. You are blessed by the one who made the universe and who personally chose you. The venomous words she scatters have no power over a soul I have marked with my blood. Others may believe the lies, may look at you with suspicion, but my gaze upon you has never changed, still filled with love, still affirming, still recognizing you even when you are lost in your own pain. You are not broken as you think. Those cracks, those pieces you thought had shattered, are not the end. They are openings for my light to enter deeper. Sometimes I must allow the old to collapse so I can rebuild what you truly need, what cannot be shaken. You are being forged, not destroyed, but made steadfast. Every fall is a lowering that prepares you for a lifting. Every loss is a space I am about to fill with something far more precious. You are not defeated, my beloved. I see your soul trembling, not from fear, but because new life is rising in your chest. No one else sees it, but I do. Amid the ashes, a seed of hope is pushing through. You are not the same, and that is why hell trembles. You are rising not in pride, but in conviction. Not by your own strength, but by the power I give. And this rising cannot be stopped, for it comes from my Spirit, the one who stilled the sea, who called life from the dead, who lives in you. My Spirit in you is greater than every scheme against you. Do not let the enemy's words blind you to that truth. Do not let twisted dreams make you forget the sacred map I drew for you before you had form. She may utter 100 curses, but one affirmation from me is stronger than all the screams of hell. You are sealed by my Spirit. No incantation can erase it. In you burns fire from heaven, and no one can extinguish it. My name is a fortress. When you hide yourself in my name, every arrow bends, every blade dulls, every snare falls upon the one who set it. You do not need to know every plot, only this: I am your protector. When she silently calls on dark powers, whisper my name in your heart. When she sows hatred, you sow prayer. When she demands your downfall, you stand firm in my promise. No one can touch the soul hidden in the stronghold of the Lord. So do not let fear take root. I have not given you a spirit of timidity, but of power, love, and a sound mind. The turbulent emotions you feel are not signs of defeat. They are the ringing bells that you are approaching your breakthrough. I do not need you to be strong in yourself. I need you to know this. You have me, and that is enough. Do not let doubt linger. You may not understand, you may see chaos, but I have never been confused. I still hold the map. I still know every path. Even if you walk through the darkest valley, my shadow covers you like a great mountain shading you at midday. If you only look at your circumstances, you will see desolation. But if you lift your eyes to me, you will see the future. Lift up your eyes. Do not look down into the pit the enemy dug. Do not look sideways at mocking faces. Do not look back at past mistakes. Look up, for your help does not come from man, nor from connections or positions, nor from knowledge or strategy. Your help comes from me, the maker of heaven and earth, the one who hung the stars without a ladder, who parted the sea without a map, who saved you from death when no one knew. I and no other will lift you up with my mighty hand. You are the one I keep. Through changing seasons, through your falls, through your exhaustion, I have never taken my eyes off you for even a second. And today, right now, I am saying it again so your heart will stand firm. You are not cursed, you are blessed. You are not broken, you are being rebuilt. You are not defeated, you are rising even now. I am your fortress, I am your help, and I never change. My child, let these words be engraved upon your soul like a sacred covenant between father and child, written not in ink but in blood, in the love I have had for you, since before you were formed. I have not brought you this far to abandon you when the waves rise. I have not led you through fire, through night, to leave you midway. Every step you take, every season you endure, I have counted, and I never allow anything without meaning. I am the one who lit the first flame of faith in your heart, in the days of your innocence, in the nights you wept in secret, in the moments you knelt without words. I sparked that first light, and I do not kindle a flame only to watch it die in the wind. I do not plant faith to let it wither. The flame I ignite, I will keep burning through rains of tears, through winds of doubt, through hands that try to snuff it out. You need only keep your heart close to me. The keeping is mine. You need not fear that what I begin will be abandoned. I do not leave stories unfinished. I am not the author of failed manuscripts. I am the beginning, and I am the end. Every chapter of your life, even the dark ones, the painful lines, the parts you would tear out, are all within a perfect design I, myself, created. And if I have written it, no power may erase it. No charm, no ritual of man or woman, no whisper in the night is strong enough to destroy what I have ordained. Darkness may try, but it fights in vain, for no one can contend with what I have spoken. Once my word goes forth, it will not return void. It will accomplish the purpose I set for it. And over your life I have spoken. I have declared you will stand. I have declared you will be restored. I have declared you will not die, but live and tell of the wonders of the Lord. No curse can erase that. No talisman can overwrite the destiny signed by my own hand. Rest in that certainty. Let your mind lie down in the peace the world cannot give nor take away. Breathe deep and know this. You are not living by some passing wind, but by a divine plan conceived in my heart before time began. You are not drifting, you are being led. You are not cursed, you are set apart. You are not abandoned, you are protected, and you are not moving toward an end, you are moving toward fulfillment. Therefore, do not let the whispers of darkness make you forget the call of light. Do not let the temporary deceive you about the eternal. Do not let hands clothed in false power make you panic as if I, your Father, no longer reign. I am still here. I am still in control. And my word, the final word, still stands. Unshaken, unchanging, never late. If I have spoken, I will act. If I have begun, I will finish. If I have loved you, no one can separate you from that love, no one. And you just keep walking. You do not need to see the whole road, only to hold tightly to my hand. For if I am the author of your story, then every coming chapter, though unwritten, has already been sealed by my Spirit, and the ending will not be defeat, it will be glory. My beloved, come back. Return to the place that was once the spring of life, the root of all that is true, the intimacy between you and me. You have walked through dark days, long nights where no light seemed to reach your soul. I know. I have heard every sigh you held in. But today I do not blame you for wandering for weariness. I only whisper, come back to me. Not with burdens, not with fear, only with the sincerity that once made you tremble in my presence. Let me wash you not only from the stains of the world, but from the fine dust of doubt, hurt, and self-condemnation you do not know you carry. The rumors, the suspicious glances, the invisible rejections, they have etched unseen scars into your mind, but I see them, and I have not come to judge. I have come to heal. I will cleanse every shadowed corner, every part of your soul that has forgotten how to feel the light, not with water but with grace. Let me renew you, not so you can become a better version in the world's eyes, but so you can return to the very image I placed in you from the beginning, the image of one who bears my glory. You have grown so used to weariness that you think it is normal. But no, you were not made to live worn out. You were made to live in the flow of new strength of life from the infinite source me. Let me touch your soul again. Let me whisper the love you have forgotten. You do not need to earn it, you only need to come. And when you come, I will anoint your head with oil. Not the kind used for public praise, but holy oil from heaven that sets you apart from the world. That oil will soak into every word you speak, every act you do, every place you step. It will make the enemy unable to touch your soul as before. It will cause everything around you to change, not by your strength, but by my power working through you. That oil is the seal of one who belongs, one who is set apart, one who is sent. Then I will pour new wine into your soul, wine that will not make you stumble in emotion, but will ignite life within you. That wine is joy in the midst of sorrow, hope in the midst of chaos, courage in the midst of fear, prophecy in the desert. When you drink, your soul will sing again. You will remember your first purpose. You will look back at the battle and say, now I understand why I was attacked so fiercely. For the attack was never a sign of failure. It was proof that you were close to what I had appointed for you. The days ahead are not meaningless. They are brimming with purpose. I will not let the arrows that have been shot at you go to waste. I will not allow your wounds to become the place where you set up camp. I have seen the enemy try to make you fall, but I will turn that very fall into a launching pad. You were made to carry light, not to live on pity. You were created to speak truth, not to remain silent out of fear of rejection. You were anointed to heal, not merely to survive. You were trained to build and to lead, not just to follow. The enemy knows this. He has caught the scent of the destiny upon your life. He trembles, not because of who you are in the eyes of men, but because of who you are in me. That is why he has come. Not because you are weak, but because you are strong. Not because you are powerless, but because you hold authority. And you must remember this. The enemy does not attack what is worthless. His presence is confirmation of what I am about to bring forth from your soul. But he will not win. He cannot. For I have not called you to fear those who cloak themselves in darkness. I have not summoned you to bow before witchcraft, sorcery, or curses. I have called you to walk in dominion, the dominion of one who is anointed, the dominion of one who has been placed within the royal ranks of my kingdom, the dominion of one who knows they belong to the one who never loses a battle. I have called you to stand when others fall to speak, when others are silent to lead the way, when others are still lost. The battle you face is not a quarrel with flesh and blood. You are not fighting mere bodies. That is only the shell. You are confronting spiritual forces, the roots of deception, the systems of darkness that have persisted for generations. But you are not alone and you are not powerless. I have gone before you. I have broken every chain. I have stripped the devil of his power over your life at the cost of blood shed on the cross. I have disarmed them. I have not merely weakened them. I have left them bare. I have caused deceit to bow before truth. I have silenced curses before the cry of a soul that belongs to me. And as you walk, you will not walk in doubt. You will walk in authority, not the authority of titles, degrees, or fame, but the authority of the covenant sealed in blood. That covenant does not change, does not fade, and is not weakened by time. And you must remember this. My authority is absolute. There is no name in heaven, on earth, or under the earth higher than my name. And my name has been called over you. When you speak, angels, listen. When you pray, heaven shakes. When you stand, darkness trembles. For you do not stand in the name of man, you stand in my name. So, my beloved, return. Step back into the intimacy that once was your very life. Let me rekindle the flame. Let me bring you back to the root, not to start over, but to continue the journey with a certainty you have never known. You are no longer where you once were. You have changed. You have overcome. And now you are sent, not only with wounds, but with the oil of anointing, with the living word, and with an unshakable truth. I am yours, and you are mine. Everything I have promised, I will fulfill. No force, seen or unseen, can stop it. Go now, my child, and carry the light. Yes, my child, I have seen you walk through the shadows with trembling feet, but without turning back. I have seen you choose silence when you could have retaliated. I have seen you guard your heart from bitterness even when the sword of doubt was pressed against your neck. And because you obeyed me in the storm, I say to you, you will walk in greater wisdom, greater anointing, greater peace. Not possibly, but certainly. This is the reward for those who endure not by the flesh, but by my Spirit. I did not bring you through trials just to make you acquainted with pain. I allowed the shaking to strip away what cannot stand in the new season. Old relationships have fallen, old dreams have shattered. The things that once made you feel safe have been removed, not because I rejected you, but because I am making way for something greater than you have ever imagined. You think you have lost, but in truth you have been freed from burdens you never knew you carried. Every step in this season, though slow and painful, is another link falling from your life. The shaking you feel is not a sign of destruction, but the sound of chains collapsing. The bonds in your thinking, your fears, your distorted views of yourself, of me, of others, they are breaking under my mighty hand. When you feel as though your heart is about to burst, unable to bear any more, that is the moment your soul is expanding to hold the new. And then you will see I have not only pulled you out of the prison, I have dismantled the very door that kept you there. You will speak deliverance into the lives of those who now sit where you once sat. I have not let your pain be in vain. Every wound, every sleepless night, every unanswered question, they will become keys to unlock freedom for others. You do not need eloquence. You only need to tell the truth, that I was there, that I saved you, that I loved you when no one understood you. And every word you speak from the place where you were once crushed will ring like an alarm bell to awaken sleeping souls. You will no longer whisper. You will speak loudly, not in complaint, but with the voice of one who has survived. You will not hide your tears, but let them flow as rivers that water the dry ground. I will make you shine, not with the spotlight of a stage, but with the inner light kindled by love and mercy. And when you step into a room, darkness will retreat, not because you shout, but because my presence in you leaves no place for evil to hide. This season is not the end. Though you see many things closing, relationships, opportunities, expectations, in truth, this is only preparation. This is the prelude, the place where I rewrite your journey in eternal ink. What you have learned in the dark will become your provision in the light. The days you felt alone will be proof of my faithfulness. And best of all, you will not just pass through, you will come out in glory. The fire you feel is burning away the old, but you will not be consumed. It is a refining fire. This fire does not come to destroy, but to purify. Like gold heated to remove its impurities, your soul is being renewed until only the purest remains. You will not emerge from this furnace smelling of smoke, but carrying the fragrance of one who has been sanctified. Like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who stood in the fire without being burned, because I was with them, so I am now with you in the fire. You will not be burned, and you will step out without even the smell of smoke. People will look at you in wonder, for they thought the trial would destroy you. But instead of brokenness, you stand firm. Instead of weakness, you are strong. Instead of retreat, you advance, not by your own might, not by your own power, but by my Spirit. I have lifted you, I have kept you, and I will take you into places you never dared to dream of. From the place of wounding, I will make you a healer. From the place of scorn, I will grant you honor from heaven. From the place where you once wept in secret, I will turn it into the place where you dance with joy. And when people ask, who did this, you will answer without hesitation or fear, the Almighty God, the one who was with me in the fire, who delivered me, and now sends me out. So, my child, do not stop. Do not doubt this season of fire. Do not despise the days of waiting. Do not belittle the moments of heartbreak. For all of them are being used to forge a child who can carry light into places where no one else dares to go, and you will go. With bright eyes, with a bold voice, with a soft yet unyielding heart. For I am with you, not only in the past, not only to comfort you, but to walk with you, to uphold you, to send you forth. This is the season of transformation. This is the place where I lay my hand upon your shoulder and say, it is time. It is time for you to step into greater anointing. It is time for you to speak what I have placed in your heart. It is time for the light to blaze where no one can extinguish it. For this fire comes from heaven, and you are the torch I have lit in this world. My beloved, do not be silent any longer. Do not let your lips be sealed by old wounds or by the watchful eyes of the enemy. I have placed in you a voice, not for you to keep to yourself, but to speak life. Open your mouth and let truth be released. Declare what I have spoken since before the dawn of time, that you are light in the midst of darkness, that you are an heir of an unshakable kingdom, that you are not a victim, you are a bearer of victory. You must not remain silent before deceit. The enemy does not fear a scream, but he fears the authoritative voice of one who knows who they are in me. Remember, from the very beginning, all things were created by a word, let there be light, and there was light. Now I give you the same principle. When you speak life, life appears. When you speak light, darkness flees. When you stand in the storm and declare, the Lord is my fortress, I shall not be moved, the skies begin to shift, not by your power, but by my word working through you. Therefore, do not echo the words of the enemy. Do not say, I will never get out of this. Do not think it's all over. That is not the truth. That is the shadow's whisper seeking a home in your thoughts. But you have been reborn. Your mind has been renewed. Let your words agree with what I think about you, that you are chosen, that you are strong, that you are a carrier of eternal influence. Do not let your mouth partner with the darkness, but let it become the megaphone of heaven. When you step into a space, let the atmosphere change, not because you shout or try to prove anything, but because you carry my presence. And when you speak, speak with that awareness. Do not let your prayers be limited by the present circumstances. Pray as one who is speaking to the Creator of all things. Declare as one who holds the keys of the kingdom. Speak as one who knows that every word uttered will not fall to the ground in vain. I want you to remember, worship is not music, it is warfare. When you worship, you are building an altar in the midst of the battlefield. When you praise, you are offering a fragrance that stirs my heart. And at that moment I rise, I step in, I intervene. For every word of praise, every song lifted up not only pleases me, it disrupts the ranks of darkness. The enemy cannot comprehend faith in the midst of pain. It cannot decode gratitude in the face of being struck down. Every time you choose praise over complaint, thanksgiving over resentment, love over fear, you are stealing its ground, reclaiming territory for me. You do not need weapons as the world uses. Swords will grow dull. Arguments will tire. Human intellect has limits. But faith, love, praise, these are weapons that hell has no defense against. Every time you stand and say, even though I see nothing, I still believe, I draw near. Every time you raise your hands in the dark and sing, you are faithful, you are unchanging, my angels are sent forth. Every time you kneel, not out of despair, but because you know the one before whom you kneel is the King of Kings, the enemy loses its foothold. Do you know this? It only takes one person like you, one who truly believes, dares to speak the truth, and lives it to change an entire generation. And I have not chosen you because you are strong, but because you dare to depend. Not because you are perfect, but because you hunger for what is real. Not because you speak the loudest, but because you know how to listen. And today I do not speak to you as one who is wounded, but as a warrior rising again. My beloved, let my words sink deep into your heart like cool water poured upon parched ground. I do not speak to lull you in uncertainty, but to affirm what your soul has long suspected, wrestled with, and yearned to have confirmed. I am the light that cannot be extinguished, and that light lives within you. Do not seek me far away. I am not only around you like a gentle breath, I am in you. In every heartbeat, in every unconscious breath you take each morning, and every choice you make to walk in truth, though misunderstood, attacked, or slandered. You no longer need to cry out to be heard by me. You only need to be still, for I am already here within you before you even speak. You are my temple, not a temporary shelter, not a passing refuge. I have chosen you as my dwelling place in full. I have cleansed you, washed you, and established you as the home of my glory. What was once ash I have turned into pure gold. What was once ruin I have rebuilt into strength. And within you I have placed my eternal presence, unshakable, unmovable. You do not need to prove yourself worthy, you have already been chosen by me. And because you are my temple, remember this: no unclean spirit can dwell where I have sealed. No darkness can survive where my light shines. The enemy may knock, but it cannot enter. It may scream outside, but it cannot break through the blood-marked wall I have set around you. It knows, and because it knows, it fears. Not because of who you are, but because of the one you carry within. And that, my child, is why the attacks keep coming. Why they repeat, persist, and aim for your weak spots. Not because they are stronger, but because they are more afraid. The persistence of the enemy is not proof of its power, it is the sign of its desperation. It keeps knocking, keeps searching, keeps lurking, because it knows that if you realize who lives in you, all its plans will collapse in an instant. So do not fear, do not measure the danger of an attack by its frequency. Persistence does not equal effectiveness. Repetition does not equal victory. The enemy comes against you not because it is greater, but because it has no other way left. But I am your God. Not only the one who saved you in the past, but the one who is holding you steady today. I do not change. And when my hand is upon your life, I will not allow the rod of the wicked to rest upon the lot of the righteous. Remember this: you are living on the land I have given you. No one can snatch it from your hands. No power has the right to pitch its tent on the ground I have sanctified. The enemy may circle, but it cannot set foot. It may see, but it cannot claim. I have fenced it in. I have covered it. I have stood guard. Long ago I brought my people through the Red Sea not to abandon them in the wilderness. And today I do not bring you through the storm, only to have you find your own way out. I am walking with you not as a shadow behind, but as the light before you. And that light never goes out. Though the night be long, though the skies be dark, that light still burns, for that is me. My child, open your spiritual eyes. Do not see only what the natural eye perceives. See the encampment of angel armies surrounding you. See the unshakable protection present in every step you take. See my hand bracing you when your heart trembles. And believe not with emotion, but with the sure faith that the enemy cannot overcome what I have sealed. And if you should stumble, I will not withdraw from you. I will not remove my light from your life because of a moment of weakness. No, I am a father, not a scorekeeper, but a restorer. I stoop down, I lift you up. I wipe the dust from your face, and I say, you are still light, for I have never left you. So walk on without fear. Live as one who knows they carry a light that cannot be extinguished. Speak, act, breathe as one who already has me living within. And if there is one thing you must hold fast to today, it is this: I am in you, and darkness cannot survive where light dwells. I am your God, and my promise never changes. That light will keep on burning in you. Oh, my beloved, let your heart be at peace. Let the heart beating in your chest return to the gentle rhythm of grace. I see your mind busy, not because of work, but because of a nameless worry whispering each night. You are looking back, looking sideways, looking all around, tracking the enemy's steps, guessing its plans, piecing together fragments, and calling it watchfulness. But my child, you were not made to live like this. Do not be obsessed with watching the enemy's moves. He is not the center of your story. I am the one who wrote it from the first chapter to the final page. If you keep your eyes fixed on what he does, you will slowly lose sensitivity to the Spirit. You will start reacting instead of walking forward. You will live defensively instead of living with purpose. And the enemy, he will not even need to strike again, for the fear within will have already bound you. Do not waste your strength dissecting his schemes. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to predict every tactic. You do not need to track every name, every word, every sign. You are not called to be a detective, you are called to be a worshiper. I have not given you a mind of anxiety. I have given you the mind of Christ, a mind filled with peace, trust, and wisdom, and you will never find your way out in the labyrinth of speculation. The only way out is to look to me. Look at me. When your emotions surge, when you do not know whom to trust, when rumors start to creep in, fix your eyes on me. I am the one who does not change, does not deceive, and does not hide my face in times of trouble. You will not find me in the noise of your soul. You will only find me in the stillness of faith. Trust me. Trust that I am working even when you see nothing. Trust that I am protecting even when you feel attacked. Trust that I am just and no evil can go beyond the limits I allow. I will never let darkness have the final victory. Trust me, and you will see me do things more wondrous than you have asked for. Worship me. When fear knocks, answer with a song of worship. When your mind is restless, let the language of your soul become praise, not for me to hear, but for your soul to remember who is King. Worship does not change me, it changes you. It lifts you out of the narrow place where darkness wants to confine you and sets you where you can see from heaven's perspective. And I will show you what you need to see and shield you from what you do not need to know. You do not need to open every door. There are things that if you see too soon will trouble you. There are things that if you hear will shake your faith. So let me filter. Let me be the guardian of your wisdom. I will give you discernment, not suspicion. Wisdom, not paranoia. Peace, not panic. The spirit of witchcraft feeds on fear. It thrives on attention. It grows through anxiety. Every time you think of it, tremble before it search for it. You water its toxic roots in the spiritual realm. But you are not a victim. You are one marked by the blood of the Lamb, walking under the shadow of the Almighty. And where my presence is, there is no place for unclean spirits to survive. Therefore, my child, you will give it nothing it needs to live. No fear, no attention, no daily mention. You do not live to watch the enemy, you live to obey me. Your life is not defined by what attacks you, but by the one who is in you. And the one in you is greater than the one in the world. There are those who have tried to bind you with words, with manipulation, with rituals, with hidden envy. They think they have rights over your soul, but I have broken every chain. There are those who have spoken things they do not understand, repeating curses without knowing they are calling judgment upon themselves. There are those who have opened doors they cannot close, summoning powers they cannot control. But I have shut those doors, and when I shut them, no one can open. You belong to me, not partially but wholly, not temporarily but eternally. And because of that, no sorcery, no scheme, no power can steal you from my hand, for I am the Almighty. And under my wings you are safe. Keep your heart in this truth, and you will live unshaken even when all around you trembles. But I tell you, my beloved child, that every scheme of the wicked is futile before my eyes. The murmurs in the night, the incantations penned in blood, the watchful lurking eyes, the deeds done beneath the cover of darkness, all have been laid bare by me. They think they can bind you through ritual, sever the stream of life I pour into you. Yet they do not understand that you do not live by natural means but by my Spirit. They cannot see the mantle of fire I have placed upon you. They cannot touch the living water flowing from deep within your soul. Every word they speak, every snare they lay, every glance they hurl toward your spirit, these are turning back upon them like arrows loosed into the sky that fall back upon the head of the archer. I have called them to return. I have knocked on the door of their hearts not once but many times. In dreams, in unrest of spirit, in the gentle words of the righteous, I have given them the chance. I have extended. My hand withheld judgment, made a way for mercy to go before justice. But if they stiffen their necks, if they feed hatred and persist in opposing you, then it is no longer you. They face, it is me. For you no longer live under your own name, you bear my name. I have inscribed my name upon your forehead, engraved it into your heart with the sword of fire, and whoever touches you touches the apple of my eye. When they raise their hand against you, they do not merely strike flesh, they are swinging their fist at the heavens. They think you are weak, vulnerable, unguarded, but they do not know that an entire army of angels encamps around you. They cannot see it, but I see. They do not know the truth, but I am the truth, and I cannot be defeated. My name is not an ornament for the believer to wear as a mere religious symbol. No, my name is a weapon, a fortress, a place of refuge, a living power, at work in reality. I have not given you a magic phrase, I have given you myself, and my name is a strong tower into which you may run where no force can breach. When you declare my name, darkness trembles. When you pray in my name, every spirit bows. When you stand in my name, you stand on ground that cannot be moved. And what is that name? Not an empty letter, not a meaningless sound, but a person. I am the I am, self-existent, uncreated, without limit, unchanging. I am Alpha, the beginning of all things, and I am Omega, the end of all. Before the enemy existed, I was. After all evil powers are consumed in burning fire, I remain steadfast as my throne in heaven, and I am he who speaks a single word from me, bends all reality. I need not shout, I need not wave my hand. One word, and it is done. My child, do not let threats shake you. Do not let acts that appear powerful make you afraid. The counterfeit always loves to parade itself. Darkness always tries to look big, yet inside it is hollow. You need not fear a curse, for no curse can overcome my promise. You need not answer false accusations, for I am your defender. You need not flee from schemes, for I have gone ahead and destroyed every trap. If you hear my voice today, be at peace. Return to that simple faith untouched by fear. Stand firm in this truth. Nothing happening is beyond my control. You are not the ultimate target, I am, and that is what drives the enemy mad. Since it cannot strike me directly, it seeks to wound those I love. But I protect my own not only with angels, but with my very presence. I am not far from you. I am not indifferent. I am not silent because I am powerless. I am silent to watch the enemy entangle itself in its own net. I am patient, waiting for hearts to return. But when I rise, every knee will bow. When I stretch forth my hand, all evil plans shatter. I will not be mocked. My name will not be scorned. Whoever touches you will know who I am. Therefore live worthy of the name I have placed upon you. Walk as one who knows they are covered. Pray as one who knows they are heard. Worship as one standing before the throne. And believe no spell, no ritual, no force can undo what I have begun in your life. I am he who speaks, and it is done. I am your protector, and none can snatch you from my hand. I am your righteous judge, and I will rise for you. You need only remain in me. As for all else, leave it to me. Yes, my child, I am the one who has been there from the very beginning. I do not change, I do not grow weary. I am never caught off guard. I am he who turned the staff in Moses' hand into a serpent before Pharaoh's magicians, not for display, but to prove that no deception, no matter how refined, can stand before me. I am he who caused their magic to collapse, to consume itself. And I today still stand beside you, never moving away. I am he who silenced Balaam, who sought to curse my people for pay. He was hired to kill with words, but I turned his curse into blessing, not because my people were flawless, but because I had chosen them. And so with you, you are chosen, protected not only from arrows, but from the venomous whispers of the unseen realm. What is spoken to destroy you, I will transform into tools to build you. I am he who consumed the offering of Baal's prophets on the mountain in the crowd under challenge. I sent fire from heaven not to discourage man, but to display my uncontested sovereignty. I am the flame that burns away every counterfeit, every charm, every ritual, not from me. And today, when darkness believes it is chaining you through nightmares, heaviness, and whispers in the soul, I am preparing again to pour fire from heaven, this time into your heart. I know everything you are enduring. Nothing escapes my permission. You think you are collapsing under unseen blows, but I have allowed you to feel the friction not to destroy you but to awaken your soul. You have slept too long in a false safety. You have believed that silence would keep evil away. But no, my child, the enemy never respects silence. It retreats only before awakening, before light, before my power working through the weak who depend on me. I have seen you wrestle in nameless darkness. You do not understand why you are pressed, why your heart feels so heavy, why you wake unsettled in spirit, the restless dreams, the mornings clouded though the sun is up, the sense of being watched from the unseen, the small but constant disruptions that leave you troubled. All these things I see, I know, and I let you feel them not to torment, but to awaken a new spiritual sensitivity in you. You must know I am training you not with theory, but with real battle. Darkness has fixed its gaze on you not because you are weak, but because it senses the light in you is growing. It does not attack the dim. It targets those who carry the seed of heaven's influence. And you are one of these. But do not let that cause you to panic. Let it be living proof that you are on the right path. Let your heart be at peace. Do not fix your eyes on the enemy's steps. Do not dissect his plans as though they hold the power to decide your fate. The more you stare into darkness, the more you forget the radiance of the light. Do not waste time analyzing the enemy's every move. Instead, look to me. Trust me. Worship me. When you worship, I wage war. When you sing in the night, my angels march. When you pray in faith, the enemy's walls begin to shake. I will show you what you need to see, and I will shield your eyes from what you do not need to know. Not because I fear you seeing it, but because I know your spirit needs rest. I am the giver of discernment, not paranoia. I give wisdom, not a mind full of fear. I give peace, not a soul tossed about. You do not need to see everything. You need only know that I see it all, and I am in control of all things. The spirit of witchcraft feeds on fear, attention, and anxiety. The more you look at it, the more it grows. The more you speak of it, the more it claims importance. When you cower before it, it uses that fear to drain from you the authority you already have in me. But you will give it none of these. You will walk in perfect peace under the shadow of the Almighty, He who is unmatched, unshakable. There are those who have unwittingly opened doors they did not understand and cannot now close. They have spoken thoughtless words, sought help from darkness out of impatience, made jokes calling on what should never be named. And in doing so, they have harmed not only themselves, but those near them. But you are not like them. You are not drawn to false power. You discern what comes from me and what comes from deception, and that is why I have chosen you to stand firm, to speak truth, to free those who are bound. I am not merely with you, I am acting. I am breaking curses. I am sealing spiritual breaches. I am lifting you up, giving light to your eyes, strength to your hands, firmness to your soul in my presence. And in all things I still say this to you. Do not fear. Look at me. Trust me. Worship me. For I, the Lord Most High, am still the one walking beside you today. My child, there are days I let you stand in the storm, not because I have abandoned you, but because I want you to see with your own eyes that the storm has no power over one I have sealed. Not every wind comes from me, but no wind is allowed to blow beyond my permission. If it happens, I have seen it beforehand, and if I have seen it, I have also prepared a way to use that very storm to shape you into a precious instrument in my hand. At times, I let you feel the heat of battle. Your spiritual skin burns, your mind reels, your heart trembles, not knowing how many more blows await. But you must know this, I have never and will never let you be consumed. I am the furnace that refines gold, not the fire that destroys flesh. I do not burn you to destroy, I melt you to purify. And what I have refined I will keep as treasure. Now you see clearer than ever that the war you live in is real. It is not a religious dream, nor something that happens only to others. It is happening in your own life, where you work, where you sleep, where you hurt, where you pray. You have felt the collision of light and darkness, of truth and lies, of life and death. You have seen people who seemed harmless, used as tools of darkness. You have tasted what it is to be watched, opposed, misunderstood, not because you have done wrong, but because you are walking right. Yet in the very midst of the reality of battle, I call you to look up. Do not fix your gaze forever on the enemy. Do not stare only at your wounds. Lift your head and see I am enthroned. I am unmoved by the roar of hell. I am unshaken by the schemes of the devil. The train of my robe fills the temple, fills the world in which you live. All things are mine. I am the one with ultimate authority. Though you see dark powers at work around you, know that they are but a mist before the everlasting radiance of your God. Do you hear? When I speak, the earth shakes not from rage, but to affirm my presence and sovereignty. When I breathe a single breath, demons scatter. They cannot withstand the breath of my mouth. This is the power in which you live. This is why you have not died, though you thought you would. Why you have not stayed down, though you have fallen. Why you are reading these words now, because I am still holding you with a strength no human reason can measure. My angels, not the soft-winged figures of paintings or fire, flames that never burn out. And do you know they surround you? They are not idle. They are not decoration. They take orders directly from me. Every step, every breath, every prayer you speak is heard, and heaven's response is never late. They act not because you are perfect, but because you bear the seal of the one who sent them. So do not let loneliness deceive you. Do not let the enemy's whisper say, you are abandoned or no one helps you. You are not alone, not for a single moment. When you think you sit alone in a dark corner, an army of mine is camped around you, not to watch but to guard, not to pity but to fight alongside you. You are not surrounded by darkness. You are surrounded by fire, not the fire of destruction, but holy fire, the flame that burns day and night without fading. This fire consumes every scheme of the devil, purifies every stain you once bore, rekindles hope when you thought your heart had gone cold. And no one, no force of evil can quench it. When darkness rises and the unseen cries begin to press in all around you, when incantations awaken and your name is spoken in dark rituals, it is in that very moment that I rise higher still. I do not sit idle when the enemy schemes. I do not remain silent when you are targeted. I am not delayed as you once feared. When the enemy thinks it has succeeded in its stealth, that is the moment I rise with my mighty arm with holy fire from my throne, and every shadow must retreat. I need not many words, only a single gesture of my hand, and chaos floods the camp of the wicked. The voices once raised to curse, you will begin to turn against each other. Altars once built in silence, I breathe upon them, and they collapse into ashes. I am the one who knows all, not only the deeds of the enemy, but also their dreams. And when those dreams are woven to plot evil, I turn them back, making them shackles that bind the very hands that fed them. They will be haunted by their own schemes, tormented by the plans they thought would end you. I do not need to send fire from heaven. Their own conscience will become the weapon I wield to break them apart. They will not find rest until they release what they once used to harm you. This is not an impulsive punishment. It is my justice. It is not because you are perfect that I act. You have stumbled, doubted, and had moments of weakness, and I know. But you belong to me. Not because you are worthy, but because I have chosen to set my love upon you. And what I have set, no one can take away. My love is not swayed by your emotions or actions. It is as steadfast as an ancient rock sealed with the blood of the Lamb and guarded by my own holy name. Therefore now I speak to your soul, the soul that has been weary, trembling, and ready to give up, and I say, rise. Rise in faith, not with emotions that rise and fall, but with the sure knowledge that I do not change. Faith does not require you to see everything. It only requires you to believe that I hold everything. Rise in authority. Do not tremble at the names the enemy speaks. Do not hide from the darkness as if you are nameless. You bear my name, the name before which every knee must bow, every soul must yield. That authority does not come from your shouting, but from knowing who you are in me. Rise in steadfastness. Do not waver. Do not retreat. Do not bargain with the darkness. Tread on serpents and scorpions, not in pride, but in absolute obedience to me. For I have said I give you authority over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means harm you. You do not need to strain to be strong. I am the strength within you. It is not because you cry out loudly, pray through the night, or weep until dawn that I act. I respond to the quiet trust within you. That silent faith shakes the very gates of hell. Right now, every curse ever aimed at you, I reverse. Every whisper in the dark, I silence. Every time your name has been invoked in wicked prayers, I cast it into the abyss and erase every trace. Every command, incantation, and unholy covenant made to bind you, I nullify by the power of my word. Every chain forged in secret and fastened to your soul as an unseen weight, I shatter with the light that radiates from my presence. No chain is strong enough to withstand the light of the Almighty. And my child, you do not need to beg me. You do not need to weep and cling for my protection. I have already answered before you even knew you needed me. I have ordained your protection as an inseparable part of the inheritance you possess. My keeping is not a reward, it is your right because you belong to me. You are covered not because of desperate prayers, but because the blood shed on the cross has decreed that no power can snatch you from my hand. Therefore now rise not as one beaten down, but as one anointed to conquer. Rise not only to survive, but to step into your calling. Rise, for the enemy trembles when it sees the light beginning to blaze within you. Rise, for the battle is already won, and you are the victor in my name. Not tomorrow, not when you are good enough, but right now, and nothing, no curse, no scheme, no darkness can change that. My beloved, hear and etch into your soul what I now declare to you. You are covered in the blood of the Lamb, not as a mere symbol, but as a living, sacred, and eternal sacrifice. That blood does not dry, does not cease to flow, does not weaken with time. It is not merely a mark upon your forehead, but a proclamation between heaven and earth, between the visible and invisible realms, that you belong to me, and whoever touches you touches what I purchased with my own life. That blood, O my child, is a voice that echoes through the heavens, a roar stronger than every accusation the enemy has ever whispered in the dark. It wipes out every charge, breaks every curse, and topples every verdict that awaits your downfall. That blood is no mere religious image. It is a supernatural reality. When the enemy draws near to set a snare, that blood speaks. When the wicked whisper curses behind you, that blood rises to testify. When you have no strength to pray, when your lips tremble with fear, when your mind is pulled into a whirlpool of lies, that blood is still speaking. Speaking louder than you, speaking truer than you, speaking for you. And its word is, this one is redeemed, this one is sealed, this one cannot be touched. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to shout to defend yourself. The blood has already done it for you. Now I call you not to merely hide, but to walk boldly in my covering. Do not walk in the shadows as one sneaking away. Do not live as though you must be accepted by man to know your worth. Your worth is sealed by me. You are not one pleading for protection. You are one covered, armed with truth, and led by the one who conquered death. Therefore speak my word not in doubt, but in boldness. Let your words be saturated with Scripture, filled with the breath of life, turning the atmosphere around you into a place where darkness cannot remain. Praise is not merely an act, it is a weapon. Every praise from your lips is an arrow shot into the heart of chaos. Every song of worship you lift is a sword piercing through the fog the enemy has raised to distract you. Let praise become your reflex not only when all is well, but even in your weakest moments. For it is in those very moments that praise breaks chains. It sets traps for the enemy, disrupts the plans of darkness, and drives away what lurks near. I do not love worship because I need it. I love it because when you praise, you remember who reigns. You fan the flame of faith. You draw my presence into the very battles of your life. You speak to your soul, be still. For the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And where there is true worship, there I dwell. Not just listening, not just passing by, I set my throne there. And if I am present, no dark power can long endure. Darkness does not die because light shouts, it dies because light is present. Worship does not need colored lights or loud music. It needs a heart that knows I am still I am, though the storm rages, though men turn away, though the world falls apart. That is the strongest worship, in tears, in disappointment, in nameless pain. When you worship in those moments, you declare, You are greater than my circumstances. You are worthy, even when I do not understand, and I draw near. Never do I ignore the song of the hurting, who still give glory to my name. So then, my child, live as one who has been redeemed at great price. Open your mouth in faith. Do not be silent when you must speak my word. Do not let your lips echo the lies of the world or of fear. Do not let your silence become a safe place for darkness to dwell. Break the atmosphere with worship. Shift the room with your song. Drive depression from your mind with the living words of Scripture. For the enemy cannot remain where people know how to praise when there is no reason left to praise except faith. You have been covered in the blood that is not changed. But it is the way you walk and the way you speak that will determine whether the atmosphere around you is a battlefield or a land of glory. And my child, I long to meet you in that place. The place where praise rises like fragrance, where worship is not bound by emotions, where you know that I dwell among my people. Not a distant deity, but a father. Not an onlooker from afar, but a warrior who fights for you. You have been sealed. You have been chosen. You have been purchased. And you have been given a weapon that no one can take away the praise of a soul who knows it has been saved. So lift your voice, worship, and allow me to do what only I can do, make the darkness tremble at the song of a redeemed child. Do not fear the night, my child, for I am the Lord of the night. There is no shadow so dense that my light cannot pierce through. There is no evil so hidden that it escapes my sight. I am the one who said, "Let there be light," in the midst of the first chaos. And I am the one who set the stars in their places, hung the moon in the sky, and made the night sky a testimony to my greatness. The night is not the domain of darkness, it is part of the creation I ordained. Darkness must obey me just as the wind, the sea, and the mountains do. It has no right to act beyond what I permit. It does not control your destiny, nor can it take away what I have sealed. Even the rebellious spirits, no matter how cunning, no matter that they once served on the heights, no matter that they once knew the pathways of the spiritual realm, are still subject to my authority. They cannot surpass my word. They cannot destroy what I have called holy. And you, my beloved, are part of that holy decree. You are holy not because you have done everything right, but because I have chosen, called, and declared it by my name. Your holiness does not rest in feelings, but in the identity I have given you. When you walk in that knowledge, darkness cannot touch you without facing me first. Therefore, speak light into your home. Do not let your mouth be filled with fear, doubt, or words that unknowingly reinforce the enemy's claims. Speak life, declare peace. Proclaim the protection of heaven over the four walls where you dwell. Take the blood of the Lamb and mark your home with it in prayer, in confession. Say, "This house belongs to the Lord. This soul belongs to the Lord." No power of darkness may enter. Anoint, open your mouth, sing the song of the Spirit in the night. For song is a fire that darkness cannot endure. Do not underestimate the sound that belongs to me. When you read my word, the atmosphere shifts. When you sing, the heavens open. When you confess my name, every unclean spirit must retreat. The forces of darkness carrying curses, heavy emotions, and unseen coldness must flee, not because you shout, but because they cannot remain where I am enthroned as king. My presence is a fire, and no darkness survives in its flame. Do not retaliate in the flesh. Do not think the enemy will be defeated by arguments, by anger, or by impulsive reactions, not by your hand, nor by your mind. I have not called you to attack, I have called you to stand firm. Do not seek vengeance, for I am the one who repays, and I repay not merely to punish, but to execute perfect justice that no one can distort. My vengeance is not to satisfy emotion, but to restore spiritual balance. And when I repay, no one can stand. Your role is not that of a rogue fighter, but of one who carries authority from heaven. You are called to stand, trust, obey, and walk, not in fleeting emotions, but in the authority granted through the blood of the Lamb. When you walk in that, every word you speak carries power, every action you take holds influence, every breath you draw bears the imprint of life. The enemy will recognize it, and though it may roar, it must flee. Resist the enemy, and it will flee from you. That is a promise, not a suggestion. but resist with the Spirit, with truth, with the spiritual armor I have given, not with anger, not with panic, not with human strategies. When you put on righteousness, take up the shield of faith, wear the helmet of salvation, and wield the sword of my word. You are not merely on defense, you are a victor. And as you hold your ground in the midst of darkness, I am moving, I am fighting, I am covering. Therefore, my child, do not bow your head, do not whisper in the night like one under threat. Lift your face, open your mouth, call on my name, the one who made both day and night. And remember, you are not in the night, you are carrying the light, and that light no force can extinguish. Now with a bare heart and a sincere soul, bow before me in prayer, Almighty God. Keeper of my soul, today I come before you not with any title or merit of my own, but with the assurance that the blood of the Lamb has covered my life. Under the shadow of your wings I find the peace the world cannot give. Lord, in the midst of curses, in the lurking of darkness, in the schemes the enemy weaves in the night, I know I am not alone. Teach me to remember that your presence is greater than every assault, that your name is a sure refuge for my soul. I do not want to merely survive. I want to live with the awareness that I am guarded by heaven itself. Grant me the courage to stand, to not tremble at the roar of evil. Teach me to use my voice to declare life, to call in the light, to proclaim your truth over every situation. I trust in your protection, Lord, not by sight, but by faith forged in the furnace of trial. Let me never forget that I am not abandoned, but led by your eternal hand. Help me to walk not with trembling feet, but with boldness that comes from your Spirit. O you who speak and creation comes to be, I bow before you, the one who called me out of darkness into your marvelous light. I know the enemy does not seek me because I am strong, but because I belong to you. They do not target me because I am important, but because in me dwells the one who cannot be defeated. So remind me daily that the blood of the Lamb is no ordinary blood. It is the blood that conquered death and sealed me as one set apart. I cannot be bound by curses, for I have been freed by the cross. Teach me not to answer hatred with bitterness, but with praise. When I am attacked, let me remember that worship is a weapon, a fortress, a fire burning in the night. Rain in my mouth that every word I speak may carry the breath of heaven. I offer you my lips, my mind, and even my wounds. Make me a true light, not because I shine, but because you are the light within me. O Lord, covenant keeper for all eternity, I know the enemy wants me to forget that I have been saved, that I have been chosen, that I am no longer bound in old chains. But today, in the midst of the darkest days, I choose to remember. I choose to remember that your name is the banner over my life. I choose to remember that your promises do not fade with time nor lose power through trials. Give me a spiritual memory, a memory that recalls the blood shed, the wounds healed, the miracles given. When I tremble, let my heart remember the times you carried me through the shadows. When I am cornered, teach me to remember that the darkest place is where the light shines brightest. Give me words to speak, words not born of psychology, but from Scripture, from your Spirit. And may I never stop declaring your truth, even when my tongue is dry and my heart weary. O Father, source of my life, I know it is not wisdom or skill that keeps me alive, it is your presence. Through every storm past, I have seen you not with my eyes, but with the knowing in my heart. Help me not to forget that in the winds to come. Teach me that your silence does not mean your absence. And when I feel as though praise cannot escape my lips, place a song in my mouth. When I tremble with anxiety, pour into my heart the peace only you can give. Make me your dwelling place so that all evil must keep its distance. I do not ask for ease, I ask for presence. For if you are with me, then though I walk through fire or water, I will not be burned, nor will I be swept away. Amen. Lord, I thank you that the blood of the Lamb has triumphed over all. Thank you that no one can rewrite my destiny but you. Thank you that your name is not just a shelter I hide in, but a place from which I step forward in faith. Thank you that in countless battles you have never turned your face from me. Though the enemy strikes from every side, you always guard me. Even when I am weary and tempted to surrender, your mercy follows every breath I take. I know I do not stand on my own. I am upheld by a hand that never lets go. Today I thank you not because everything is already resolved, but because I know you are working in all that is yet unresolved. Thank you that the words I speak carry power not because of me, but because you live in me. Thank you that my worship does not fall into emptiness, it flies straight to your throne. Thank you that even in tears I still have reason to sing. I thank you, Lord, for keeping me in the midst of a chaotic world. Every sleepless night, every day of doubt, every moment I have felt lost, you have been there. Thank you that you never let go. Thank you that your light does not go out even in strong winds. Thank you that my prayers are not forgotten, that every whisper is heard. Thank you that your angels move on my behalf even when I cannot see. Thank you that you did not wait for me to be strong before you loved me, but loved me when I was at my weakest. Thank you that you call me mine even when I once called myself worthless. Thank you that you are my reward, my refuge, my final word. I know I am unworthy, and that is why this gratitude cannot be fully expressed in words. Yet I offer it with all I am. Lord, I thank you that your truth does not change amid the world's lies. When people turn away, you still face me. When I am disappointed in myself, you still look on me with love. Thank you that your spirit still whispers life when the world screams chaos. Thank you that every attack only draws you closer. Thank you that your forgiveness has no limit. Thank you that your word is the sword that cuts every chain. Thank you that your name is the banner lifted over my life that no one can pull down. Thank you that you know my name not by my past but by the future you have ordained. I have nothing to boast of except your grace, and if my whole life could sing only one thing, it would be this: thank you for never leaving me. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so together we can build a strong community of faith.